Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining the South African Fashion Week Meet the Designer Behind the Label Zoom in. We've got 10 designers for you today. I think it's 10 designers today to meet. And as you know, our 10-20-20 Transitional Collection broadcast kicks off tomorrow. And what a fantastic celebration of 27 designers showing their post-COVID collections. It's a transitional collection, collections to everybody in the world. It is the first time that Fashion Week in South Africa and in Africa is broadcasting the way we are doing through CompuTicket. So you can purchase tickets from CompuTicket if you haven't done that yet. And you can have front row seats in your lounge. Pour yourself a fantastic glass of wine and celebrate the designers with us. Before we get started, I'd just like to go over a few housekeeping items so you know how to fully participate today, because we want your full participation. At any time, you have the opportunity to submit questions. So all you have to do is at the bottom of your screen, there's a chat button. And if you press that, you can write a message and I will point you in the right direction, or we'll get the designer to answer your question. So just type in your question there and let the questions come in. I'm sure you've got lots of questions to ask the designers. Address it. So if you want Michaela to answer a question, address it to her. Otherwise, to everybody, and you'll see how it goes. It's so nice to get the questions. So please don't be shy. And if the time allows it, we will get the designers to answer some questions once we're done. We will be recording, as you can all see, we're recording this Zoom. So we will share the link after our Zoom meeting. And now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to the stars at the South African Fashion Week. And first is our last year's New Talent winner, Laura Ferreira from Lucent. Over to you, Laura.
Thank you, Lucilla. Hi, everyone. I hope that you're all doing super well and that you're very excited for SA Fashion Week to start. Just a bit of a background on me. I have a women's wear clothing brand. It is called House of Lucent or Lucent. We are proudly designed and manufactured in Cape Town, and our focus is ethical fashion and sustainability. We'll be showcasing on Friday at 9 p.m. and I can't wait to show you all what we have created.
Thank you, Laura. Please take us through your sustainability turnaround, or your slow fashion, so to speak, mission. How is that working for you, and how do you manage that? What have you put in place?
So I think it's a very evolving project or puzzle. It's something that I'm continuously working on and finding better solutions to. But at the moment, I really try to focus on each step of the process. So right from the beginning, when I am designing, it's always very intentional and considered. I only work with natural fabrics, and I try to collaborate with as many people as I possibly can. And for this collection, there were actually over 80 people that contributed. So I'm very excited to show everyone exactly who they are and where they come from. And hopefully it can be a long, beautiful journey of working together and, really changing the industry in South Africa.
Yes, I think that this is absolutely the right time to start doing it. Tell us about what it meant to you to win the New Talent competition.
It was amazing. I still sometimes look back to the video and I can't believe it's actually me. It was such an incredible experience, and I really just motivate and encourage every young designer to do it, because it was such a great experience and I learned so much from it, and I met so many industry leaders and experts in the process. And I think it really just gave my brand a bit of a step up in some recognition and some exposure as well, which was so important in any business, any small business, especially when you're starting out. So it was really just a great stepping stone to the next level.
And if I'm a follower of yours, where can I buy your beautiful collection?
So we have our online store. So our website is www.houseoflucent.com. We're also stocked in Virgil in Hyde Park, and then a few other stores in Cape Town. But you can find all the info on our Instagram pages and our Facebook page and our website.
Laura, tell me, what makes you wake up in the morning?
So many things. Number one is my alarm. That's the first thing that wakes me up. But I would say just the passion and drive to make a difference and to be able to create with purpose. I think like that's the biggest thing that keeps me inspired, is being able to know that I have this great platform and the ability to create and to make some sort of difference in a small way. I think that's what keeps me going and what wakes me up in the morning.
Well, I hope that one day you'll be able to make a difference in a big way, in a very big way in South Africa. And we're all looking forward to that. Our next designer is, or our next label is Luna. And I'd like to introduce you to Sonia, whom I've known for many years. Sonia is the designer behind the Luna label, and she works very closely with Nicola Luther to design this beautiful label that we've all come to love in South Africa. Sonia?
Sorry for that. Thanks, Lucilla. Laura, so lovely to hear about all the people you collaborated with. That's amazing. 80 people all together. That must have been, I mean, I know what it's like to collaborate with people and to use different, I'm stunned, I'm amazed. So yes, we were so honored to win the SA Cape Wool's Designer Challenge this past year, and we had a wonderful experience working on our first collection, which was a winter collection. And before, by the beginning of this year, we had started working on the summer collection we were going to present at this fashion show, which was going to be in April, I think. And because of COVID, of course, we really had to rethink all of that. And we just looked at what it is that our life is like right now and what it is that people need. Our focus has always been on sustainability and ethical fashion, natural fabrics. And in that sense, Lunar, the brand is the brand is 22 years old this year. And in that sense, it's really been at the vanguard of sustainable fashion, both in South Africa and internationally. And we're very proud of that heritage. So we're always looking at continuing that and working with how it is that we can best serve our customer and give them solutions for what it is that they need, while presenting something to them that is timeless, but at the same time has enough of a little something to make it special.
Sonia, you've moved recently. Why have you moved why have you moved and where have you moved to?
Yes, so Lunar started at 44 Stanley at it was one of the original tenants there. And we recently moved to a much smaller space, also still at 44 Stanley. So now we're right at the entrance, which is great. Previously, we were in a courtyard inside. We had been looking at kind of scaling down. The other space was huge and also terribly cold in the winter. So our new space is really light filled. It's much smaller, but it's airier and more open.
Yeah. So yes, it shows you don't need a huge space to do fantastic business now, and it's very important for the designers to keep their overheads and their costs down. So thank you, Sonia, and we're looking so forward to seeing your beautiful collection.
Thank you so much.
Ekta Kalan is the designer behind Ekta, and I discovered that she really designs beautiful, beautiful fabric. So Ekta, take us through Ekta. Tell us what makes you tick.
Okay, thank you so much, Lucilla. And yeah, thank you everyone for watching us and listening to us today. It's an absolute honor and pleasure to be here. So Ekta is a women's wear brand. We're just turned 4 years old now, and although it still seems like very fresh and new, and still learning along the way. So I would say Ekta is a luxury women's wear brand. We focus on slow fashion and transitional wear as well. We've managed to succeed in doing that in terms of trying to be sustainable. Like Laura said, it's a learning process that's, you're constantly adapting to. It's not just some fixed thing which you've got it and you're going for it. So with my brand, what we've done is create collections which are stories and themes. And each collection after that is something that you could add on to a previous range of ours. So we've still had customers that still inquire and want collection, want dresses from our very first range. So that's how we've managed to, keep that slow fashion movement going and in so forth being sustainable. And yeah, our brand's also a lot about, like Lucilla said, about color and print. I just love color. It's a way of bringing positivity to oneself, and starting off as a brand of just being colorful, slowly print became my strength. And so print has now become more and more part of our DNA of our brand.
Thank you, Ekta. You also have a financial background. Tell us a little bit about that. Let us in.
Okay, so yeah, my career journey has been a very windy, windy one. It hasn't been a very straightforward one, but I suppose it can be motivation to a lot of people that, change their career path. When I finished high school, I came from a very traditional Indian background. So getting a real degree was either becoming a doctor, lawyer, or accountant, something like that. And even though I loved fashion, so I landed up then going and doing a business science in finance at UCT, and which was it's a great degree, and I learned so much. Obviously it wasn't my passion, but it was the first step to making my parents happy. And then I landed up in corporate. Yeah. So I landed up in corporate. I worked 1 year at Investec Bank and then another year at Deloitte. So it all sounds fancy and glamorous with the big names, but it was, there was always like this something at the back of my mind, like, when am I going to do this, what I truly love from a child? And I think by that time, my father also saw that I was so, miserable in what I was doing, and he was like, go forth and do what you want to do. So it has a happy ending because they were fully supportive, and even today they're completely supportive of my brand and my business. And I think everyone needs that. You need that strong moral support, whether it's from friends or family, to get you through. And I left my job. I went back to being a student, so I did a BA in fashion design, finished that, and then started my own business. But even that too was a struggle, because I actually went back to my old job. So it really is a windy career path. Back to my old job, worked there for 2.5 years, built some capital, built some confidence too. So I think confidence is a key factor, and did some mini pop-ups on the side. And then from there, took that leap of faith and left my job. And this is where I am today. Yeah.
Very good. Good for you. Good for you, Ekta. Thank you very much for sharing it with us. Our next designer is a designer that is part of the Scouting Menswear competition. And that, of course, our competitions is the first step to building your business. And I'd like to introduce you to Thabo Kopele from Thabo Kopele. Thabo.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's well. Thank you so much for having me today. It really is such a pleasure and an honor to be talking to everyone and to shed a bit more light on who I am and what the brand Thabo Kopele means and what it represents. I started studying fashion at Lysof in 2017. It's been quite a rocky road. In that year, that was my first year at the school. I was expelled from the school due to a problem with fees, and eventually I decided to then start my brand. This obviously required a lot of confidence. This is the kind of confidence that, much like Hector said, building a brand is really not just something that happens overnight. You need a lot of confidence and a lot of conviction in what you're doing. And just for you to obviously be able to parlay your passion to everyone. You really need to have the conviction in your passion. So that's when I decided to start my brand in 2018. And I also received a bursary from Lysof and was able to resume my studies. I also started sewing in 2014. I was 16 in grade 10, and that's when I started. I used to hand sew a lot of my classmates' sort of trousers and all of that, just to teach myself about fabrics. And that's basically where my fashion story started. I'd say being active in fashion, apart from me just loving fashion and just dreaming about being part of the fashion world, not just in South Africa, but just all over the world. And so, yes, that has led me to quite a few projects that I was and still am very proud of, very exciting editorials, learning along the way, not only about clothing, but also how to beautifully execute your narratives. Because I believe that fashion is not just about clothing, and I believe it's more about having a story that is tangible, that your client can hold on to and be able to live in, basically. And them eventually also being able to have their own sentiments to the clothing that you made and telling their own stories through yours. And so, yes, so that has been my journey so far. Like I said, it hasn't really been the rosiest, but I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of Thabo Kopele and the leaps we have made so far. We are a minimal brand. We take a lot of inspiration. I personally, as the head designer, take a lot of inspiration from I'd say architecture. I was about to say art, but I'd actually like to say I'd like to make architecture for the human body. And that's exactly where I take my inspiration from. I love keeping my color palettes very minimal, but not boring. Very interesting, while also being able to properly tell my story that someone would understand without them even having to ask. Much like someone would walk into a gallery and look at a painting and already have their own stories and assumptions about what the painting would be about. That's exactly the aim with Thabo Kopele. When someone walks into a store and looks at a Thabo Kopele garment, they already know, or they already think that they know what is going on there, only because it's executed well. So we focus a lot on our executions, a lot of tailoring. Also, we trying to give a new face to ready-to-wear. Ready-to-wear garments of late have had a lot of utilitarian faces on it, very, very practical based garments, but we also trying to give it a twist and say we can have a high-end luxury ready-to-wear luxury brand in South Africa. So yes.
Yeah, thank you, and good luck with the competition. The thing with the competitions at the South African Fashion Week, and something that I always sort of try to emphasize, is that once you get to the finals, you are already a winner. And it is always very sad for me to announce a winner, because everybody at that stage are winners. And one usually finds that the people that did not win are the lights, the stars of the future. So our competitions at the South African Fashion Week is very, very important, because that is where we find the future stars. And with that said, another designer from the Scouting Menswear, and also a designer that has completed the 21 Steps to Retail program, is Michael Reed from Xavier Sedan. Michael.
Thanks, Lucilla. Firstly, I just wanted to say it's such an honor to be an SA Fashion Week designer. I've been backstage for years, so it's come full circle. I think my journey kind of starts where I used to play with Legos and Transformer toys as a kid, where the toys could kind of become something else. They were more than what they were, and I've always held on to that feeling. My aunt used to run a boutique in Hyde Park, where she used to import designers like Yohji Yamamoto, Rick Owens, and the whole Antwerp Six. So I think when I got exposed to that side of fashion, I really felt that same feeling of like, these garments belong somewhere. They have their own meaning. There's a lot of detail. So I've definitely tried to include that in my work. And certainly with this upcoming collection, I've tried to focus on the narrative of life and death. I spent half of my life in Cape Town, half of my life in Johannesburg. So the beginning part of the collection is sort of like my early childhood memories in Cape Town of like the beach and the sea. And then toward the end, it's more, I don't want to equate Joburg with death, but it's sort of like the second thing.
Careful. You must be very careful, Michael.
Yeah, but it's sort of like the other side of, it's the circle of life, effectively. It's life and death. And in addition to that, part of the collection is being sustainable. So all of the garments that we've used come from places where they are previously discarded, or they've just been cut and forgotten about. So we're giving it we're giving these garments a new life, which again keeps the circle of life going. We've also used 3D printed buttons, which has never been done before. They're partly made from off-cut plastic, and they can be resmelted and reprinted again into something new. So even that is keeping that circle of life going.
Yeah, I think that is very important, and that will certainly come through. The audience will really see that coming through in your collection. Thank you for sharing, Michael, and we're really looking forward to seeing your collection. Gugu Patini is somebody that I've met, I think a year ago. She is from Port Elizabeth, and she works very closely with mohair, and I'm very interested to hear what her philosophy is about design and about using natural fabrics or natural fibers. Gugu?
Hi, thank you, Lucilla. Hi, everyone. My name is Gugu Peteni. I'm from PE, as she said. Just to reiterate what Michael and Tabo said, it's an honor to be here. I remember getting the SMS from Fashion Week and almost dying. It's been a dream for me, so it's really a moment, and I just want to just take it in for a second. My journey with fashion is quite simple. I'm a twin sister. I have a twin sister, so I'm a twin. So growing up, we used to get bundled a lot. We used to be called them or they or the twins. So for me, I established my own fashion sense, and that became kind of like the way people could differentiate me and my sister. And I realized that fashion could be a vehicle for people to communicate and for you to express yourself and be who you are. So that kind of stuck, and that's what I took on when I went into my fashion journey. So I studied fashion at the University of Nelson Mandela. And yeah, in my third year, we had a competition for mohair. We basically had to create one garment using the fiber. And it was my first time. I didn't know anything about it, especially living in the mohair capital of the entire world. So I discovered mohair and fell absolutely in love with the versatility, the sustainable side of it, the feel and everything that you could do with it. Yeah, I placed second in that competition, and that kind of opened me up into the mohair industry. So after I finished my honors year, I interned for 6 months and got offered basically a full-time job to be the head designer for the company. And 2 years later, I started my own brand, which also does mohair and textile fabrics as well.
That is incredible, Gugu. Really incredible. And Gugu is also one of the finalists of the Scouting Menswear competition. Am I right, Gugu?
Correct.
Yes. So again, she is another winner. As I said, everybody is a winner. Our next designer, another, and it's fantastic how we have all these scouting new talents and like vibrant new designers. I just absolutely love them. We have Samkelo Boyd. Samkelo, please tell us about you and your label and your collection.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Hi, Lucilla. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and honor to be part of this Zoom meeting. Okay, my name is Samkelo Boyd Kaba, founder and the creative director of the clothing label Boyd. I was born in KZN and raised in Johannesburg. Then I never thought that I'll do fashion as a profession. So in 2015, I enrolled at Lysoft, dropped out at Lysoft, and went to TUT. Then that's where TUT I graduated with my degree in fashion and design technology. So basically, Boyd, it's a menswear clothing brand, which is more focusing into bespoke tailoring and premium ready-to-wear. But the collection that we'll be showcasing now is going to be more unisex. So Boyd, it's more of an ethical contemporary clothing brand that prioritizes sustainability. So our collection, what I was trying to do with this collection, what I was trying to achieve, it was more interlinking tailoring and streetwear. I was trying to produce something that's going to be more versatile and functional. So what I did, I have like a suit which is more, it's unstructured, so it doesn't have shoulder pads. So it gives you more functionality and flexibility. It's a lightweight suit, so you can wear it all season. It's unlined. So it's a suit that you can wear for a business meeting, for a ride in the park, and also for some evening wear. So basically the collection, it is produced with recyclable fabric. So all the fabric that I use from the collection, I recycle them. It's the fabric that I've had them for like ages. For example, the one for a suit, it was a fabric that I was using to iron on. So it was a suiting. So I just took it to dry clean, where then cut it and I produced the suit. So even the color panel, I tried to come up with colors that are more versatile, the colors that doesn't limit you. You can literally interlink everything from the collection, and they can, like, you can blend anything from the garments. You can still come up with a beautiful look from there. And also the range is more inspired by architecture and modern interior design. So if you look at it, the garments more have like more of a geometrical modern architecture and interior structure.
Yeah, thank you, Samkelo, and good luck to you as well. I just want to very quickly read a few comments. Michelle Brown says, I'm so proud of Gugu, in particular as a fellow PE girl. And all of you amazing young talent makes me so proud of being South African. How incredible is that? And yes, of course. Thank you, Michael. It's people like you that keep us going. And you know, one doesn't realize this, and it's so, so important. Michelle Brown is a public relations person from PE. And, you know, she says you're all amazing. So coming from a public relations person in a top PR, thank you very much, Michelle, for the fantastic compliment. And Michael Reed, which I believe might be Michael Reed's father, although he doesn't know that I know that, but I know everything, says you are amazing. So our next designer is Michaela Farooq. Michaela specializes in sustainability, which is really right up our alley. So Michaela, please take us through.
Hi, thank you. Hi, I'm Michaela. I'm the designer for Michaela, which is a sustainable and ethical brand. I started my brand after studying at UJ in 2018. So my brand is basically focused on sustainability and ethical fashion. So what I did for this upcoming collection, which will be showcasing at the Scouting Menswear on Saturday. So basically all of the fabrics that I used in this collection were donated from other designers such as Luna and Ferreira, and I also got leather scraps from Rowdy Bags in Cape Town. So all of those fabrics, as well as the offcuts from my own collections, were used to produce this new collection. So I didn't buy any fabrics. Everything was already what I had laying around, as well as like the zips and the press studs. Like nothing was actually bought. Everything was either donated or whatever I could find lying around in my studio. The collection is inspired by landscapes and landfills, because I feel like the way that the fashion industry has been operating hasn't been doing good in the long run. So we find that there's a lot of like toxic waste, there's a lot of land waste as well, if I could say, if you think of like landfills and damaged land as well. So that's what really inspired this collection. And then also the scrap from this particular collection was also used in the collection itself. So it's used to like map out landscapes on my jackets, or it's used as a different type of textile in my accessories as well. And yeah, that's basically what inspired this collection. I do call myself a menswear designer because that's where my focus is. But if I look at it holistically, I prefer a gender fluid type design. So it's not to say it's a certain cut t-shirt that is typically structured as a male t-shirt that can be worn by a female as well. My clothing is no matter who you are, what you identify as, if you like it, you wear it. And most of my collections have been like that. So whether I design a skirt or a suit or a crop top or a dress, whoever you are and whoever you identify as, you can wear it and feel good in it. That's what I want to present in my clothing.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michaela. And also good luck to you. And remember, we are always here for you. Fashion Week is always here for all the designers.
Thank you.
Our next designer is somebody that I came to know quite well. Mpume, he did the 21 steps from Ezoketo. He designs fabric prints, also fantastic. So Mpume, please take us through, starting from the beginning and telling us about your prints and about your label in a section.
Hi, Lucilla. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So nice to be here to see all these amazing designers. You know, our industry is really growing and it's becoming something that's really like a force in the world. You know, we're starting to stand out, and it's such a beautiful thing to see. My name is Mpumelelo Dlamini, and I'm from Joburg. I studied at Vilioti Fashion Institute. And after studying there, after completing my degree, I went for an interview, entered 21 Steps, and then I later on interned with EdCon. And that's where I gained the knowledge and the experience that I have. And in so doing, I started the brand Ezoketo. And the meaning behind the brand is carefully chosen as being the most suitable. And the reason behind Ezoketo is to actually tell African stories. And I believe that as designers, we should always reflect our background as well as the times, what's happening around us. And For me, Ezoketo is basically using fabric to tell stories, our African stories, our culture, our subcultures, and that's where all the prints come from. And for this season, I think we're actually seeing more of the DNA, like the brand DNA. One of our prints are inspired by the Basotho culture. There's a tribal influence in that print, as well as an animal print, a tiger print. The inspiration behind this collection was actually after COVID. When I was sitting down, I actually had to think about what's going on, where we're going, in terms of the things that are going on around us, and it all came together. It began to unfold, and the audience will see. With our opening piece, we are addressing issues that are actually happening, that we cannot stay silent about the things that are actually happening around us. As we can see, there's gender-based violence, there's racism, people are dealing with violence over in Nigeria. So it's different things. And I believe that we also have the responsibility to reflect what's going on around us.
Yeah, I think it's very important, and I do think I remember that opening piece of yours very, very clearly, and I think it's a fantastic way of expressing yourself. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Lucilla.
Thank you. And now somebody that I've known since he was 18 years old. Well, I say I know everybody. I've known everybody since they were 18 years old. But somebody that is very close to my heart, Sheldon Kopma from Naked Ape. He has gone from being a model, and he's going to tell you about his journey. Sheldon.
Hi, yeah, it's been a while, Lucilla. Thank you for the introduction. Hello, everybody. Look, I'd like to say that it's wonderful to see the amount of young designers and how they are all working towards sustainable, how they're all working towards ethical, how they're all working towards the more ecological side when it comes to fashion and the clothing textile at large. There's room for everybody within this industry, as we know. And when it comes to design, especially, it's not just about the aesthetic of that particular garment, the shape of that particular garment, the silhouette of that particular garment, all these varying factors. You have fabric, you have trims, there's so many things out there. It was great to hear about people. One of the guys, I forget his name, he spoke about 3D buttons. You had Michaela Farooq speaking about upcycling and recycling of what other designers are doing. And you had Mpumelelo now speaking about the various different prints inspired by different cultures within the country. It's all fantastic. These are the kind of things that Naked Ape as a brand launched in 2010. So we are 10 years old. Thank you. We survived.
Thank you.
So this is exactly what the entire ethos of our brand has been for the past 10 years. So I started this as a label, and before this, as Lucilla knows, and as a few of you might know, my journey within the fashion industry has come full circle. From once upon a time, model, runway, international, working in Milan, New York, etc., all the way to from that point on, as becoming a stylist, starting my styling career out in New York, back to South Africa, fashion editing for the likes of Y Magazine, Elle Magazine, Tribute Magazine, and freelancing for various other magazines, as well as producing shows for various designers and curating their collections. So design has been something that has been so challenging, yet so fulfilling, and the least financially rewarding to date. I'll be very honest with you about that. So we're getting there, and our processes are changing all the time. And in doing so, refining it and really getting it to a point where this actually becomes financially rewarding. It does take time. It's not something that, it's not a get rich overnight kind of success campaign that you can run. So back to where we at and what we do as a brand, I would say that we are definitely within the ethical, ecological, and economical space. Economical meaning that we believe in buying less and wearing more, and we design wardrobe for client around buying less and wearing more. Ecological meaning that the textiles that we use are textiles that are environmentally friendly, are textiles that do not impact the earth as harshly as what some of the synthetics and the other man-made fibers do. And as much as we can go on and on about that story, that's something that I'm extremely passionate about. Ethical, look, we are in an industry where there's lots of abuse. And this abuse comes through the entire movement of the fast fashion industry. And fast fashion has impacted us enormously. And now we're hoping that this would be an area that will be slowing down moving into the future post-COVID, purely because people have more time, have had the time to reflect on, or to do some introspect, to reflect on what we are here to do. What is our purpose? What are we all about as individuals? What are we all about as a collective? How caring are we to everybody else, and how are we going to make this work post this? So this particular collection, to be open and honest and transparent, you know, Lucilla loves that word. To be transparent about it is something that I, you know, look, it's something that it's marvelous the way it came together, you know, with the various different collaboratives, the various different collaborators, and the people who just really believe in the brand and believe in the future of this particular platform. So there was a zero budget, basically. But I must say, it's a culmination of all the collections that I've done over the past 10 years, and it is probably the best, to be quite honest. I really love what we managed to achieve, and what makes it even more fascinating is the fact that we achieved it with a zero budget. So creativity is rife, you know, and creativity can evoke all kinds of various different parts within your journey. And this is evident, you know. I love what I do. I really do. I love what I do. I live it. I breathe it. And this is something that drives me on a daily basis. And this is something that I've got to continuously remind myself when I'm going through those sort of dull patches, those low moments, to look to the brighter side of light, you know, and look forward to experiencing good things, as opposed to living within this dull moment. There's a lot of sadness going on around us. There's a lot of political mayhem. There's a lot of upheaval all over the world. We are not a unique case. And this is very disturbing. And it's very, very, it drains your energy just to watch the news. And one has to completely blank yourself out of that in order for you to realize what your true purpose is out there. Anyway, I can ramble on and on, guys. So let me not hold the mic for too long. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you to SA Fashion Week. Once again, Lucilla, you've been a soldier. You've been a laborer of love. And I applaud you for your tenacity and your drive. It's admirable. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, Sheldon. Thank you for that wonderful comment. And you know, I feel like you, and I feel like all the designers, this incredible passion for what I do on a daily basis, and it never goes away. It's not, you know, one could be really down in the dumps, and then the next minute something happens that stimulates that creativity within you, and you are flying again. And I really feel that I do understand the designers. I do understand their passion to express and to make beautiful, make things better than what they are. So I really value that. Sheldon, you have created your own fabric. Tell us, just take us about that, through that, and why you did that. Why did you feel the need to create that beautiful piece I saw?
Right, thank you. I've always looked to my nearest environment when it comes to making a garment, creating a garment. You look in your backyard before you start looking across the river or across the ocean. And in your backyard, you find out who you can work with, because you want things to be close to you so that you have a better grip on things and you have more time to expand on the collaborative. In other words, go down deep into the finest detail. So textile is everything to me. You know, textile evokes all kinds of wonderful, wonderful creations in my mind. And what I was trying to achieve and eventually achieved, my inspiration for this particular collection was the street rovers. You know, the street rovers are the people that roam the streets and they pick up various different rubbish, pick up various different recyclables, and go and sell it off and make a very sustainable living out of this. And they are a very interesting bunch of people. And I've been watching them for months upon months upon months. During this entire lockdown period, you're not allowed to go to gym. There was all kinds of restrictions. So I had an opportunity to walk neighborhoods and see what's going on in the neighborhoods and seeing how everything is operating and functioning, and also seeing how everything is how things have dilapidated and regenerated over time. So I'd see these guys and I'd engage with these guys, and I found their look very, very, very fascinating. The way everything was so practical about what they did. And I wanted to create a textile based on that. So I'd look for the first immediate thing that was available and tried this and tried that, a bit of trial and error. And the simplest technique worked the best. That is as effective as a isimiyaki fabric. And it came so easy. It was actually surprising and daunting at the same time, that how could it be so easy to achieve something so beautiful? So not to let the cat out the bag, the collections are coming on later on. So yeah, it was beautiful the way it came together. What I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that we often overthink. As designers, as creators, we always overthinking things. We always want it to be so difficult to achieve in order for it to be so amazing. Honestly, it's not always the case. And sometimes the obvious is right in front of us. And that's something that I've learned through this journey as well. Your microphone, Lucilla. Lucilla, your microphone.
No, me. Sorry about that. So just to end off our fantastic session, I'm going to ask each designer to give us one line of what they would like to say now that they have the attention of people all over. Don't forget to unmute your mic before you speak. Laura.
Okay, I didn't have much time to think, so I'm just going to say whatever comes to mind. Yeah. But basically, this collection is very, very special to me. As I mentioned before, there were many hands involved, and it actually makes me a bit teary-eyed thinking about the entire year. It's been a long journey to get to the show. We've been working on the collection since Jan, full steam ahead. So it's been a long year, basically. And it's just a very special collection, and it was definitely guided by the angels and the universe. And I just hope that people can feel the love and the attention to detail and see all the textures and the effort that was put in, and they can feel it from across the screen on their couch while they're eating popcorn and they're dressed fancy with nowhere to go.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. Sonia from Luna.
Hi. We are so grateful that we made it through this time, and we just want to thank everyone that's been part of our journey and who supported us. We're so honored to be part of people's lives. Often we've had someone who had a wedding dress made 20 years ago, who then bring their daughters and introduce them to the brand, and they end up having their wedding dress made there. And just, we're so blessed with wonderful people that are part of our lives. And we want to thank everyone for their support, and everyone who's in the industry who have stood together and just tried to get us all through this in one piece, but also to use it as an opportunity to change things. Because as everyone has really touched on, it's important for things to change, and that really lies in our hands and in the decisions we make and how we decide to proceed from here. It's one of those moments where this is the time to do something different, and we should take it, because those moments don't come along very often.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Thank you, Sonia. And Sonia and Lucent are doing a combined show on Saturday evening at 8:30. Am I right? Saturday evening at 8:30. Our next designer, Ekta.
Thank you so much, Lucilla. And yeah, it's been wonderful actually listening to every one of these designers' stories. And there's so much meaning, and you can see there's so much heart and soul that's been put into everybody's collections. And just from myself, yes, please watch my show too. The show collection of mine is called Who Am I? It's an exploration of identity, and it comes from a lot of introspection of myself personally, a very spiritual journey, of my own spiritual journey, going through of understanding what really truly defines each and one of us as in terms of how we give identities to ourselves and names to ourselves. So breaking all of that down and actually finding out what makes us our true selves. And yeah, I took a lot of my traditional Indian culture, as well as looking at my current environment, being a proud South African citizen, and my environment, and created a collection, but very personal story and journey in it. And as is everyone, each and every one designers has a beautiful story. So yeah, I just hope everyone gets to see the story as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ekta. And the Ekta show is a combination show with Erin Lee from Research Unit. Is it Erin Lee? Are they Research Unit? From and Helen Mellon, and that is tomorrow night, the last show at 8:30. Is it at 9? At 9.
9
at 9 o'clock. Yes. Tabo Kopele, tell us the last impressions or the last message. Tabo, can you hear me? I can't hear you, Tabo.
Yes, I can.
Okay, good.
We're good. Okay. So my collection is called By Courage and Faith, and I believe it has been by courage and faith that I've gotten this far, and it is also by courage and faith that we will be able to all go forward. Not just myself, but my fellow competitors in the Scouting Menswear competition. It has really been an honor being with them. The collection is really something that I'm very proud of. Probably my biggest collection so far, and I really look forward to the response and the reviews that will come from there. I hope everyone is also going to tune into everyone else's shows. It's something very exciting. I really don't want to reveal too much about the collection, but it's something that I'm personally very proud of, and I really wish everyone the best of luck for the competition. But like Lucilla said, I believe we have all won because I saw everyone else's collections and they're beautiful. And I'm very honored and very proud to be part of this year's finalist in the Scouting Menswear competition. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tabo. Now over to Michael Reed. Michael Reed.
Hi. I just wanted to say thanks again for this, Lucilla and everybody. It's been awesome speaking to all of you. And I think from our side, with this collection, we try to be at the kind of intersection between innovation and emotion. And I think this collection is kind of like the beauty of life and the beauty of death. But if that isn't interesting enough, then there's 5 designers for our show. So come watch our show.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much. Gugu, your message.
My collection is titled Abomhlaba, which means of the earth. It's loud, it's bright, it's different textures, and I really try to just celebrate fashion and menswear in general. I wanted to also challenge myself as a designer and challenge the norm. So everything is 100% waste. I thrifted a bunch of denim and mixed it with some discarded mohair that was going to be thrown away, and knitted up some interesting pieces. So yeah, the collection is a celebration of life. It's a celebration of just being who you are and like expressing yourself and challenging yourself. So yeah, I'm really excited, and well done to all the other designers. I was blown away by how talented everyone is, and I'm excited.
Very, very much. I agree with you. We have huge talent in South Africa. Samkelo Boyd.
First of all, I want to thank the SA Fashion Week team for having us through this journey and for giving us this opportunity to showcase SA Fashion Week through the Menswear Scouting competition. And I'm happy for my competitors, and their work was great. I saw their work, and hopefully will inspire other people. And I hope everyone will tune in for our show, which is Saturday around 8 o'clock. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Michaela.
Okay, I just like to say personally, compared to all my other collections, this one is by far my favorite. I think it speaks to my brand so well about recycling, and not just recycling to make anew, but using what there is and just bringing new life into it. I'm very excited about it. This collection represents the hope that sustainability has given the fashion industry, and that is also seen in my collection. So I hope everybody tunes in on Saturday. And then as a designer, I just want to say, don't sleep on South African fashion. It's just, we are coming up and it's going to be so great.
Thank you. Thank you. It's absolutely fantastic to just hear all these messages coming from your hearts. Ezoketo, talk to us.
First of all, I'd love to give a shout out to Elelwani and Sandy, and a special thanks to you, Lucilla, because some of the relationships that I have today are because of you, because of the passion that you have for the fashion industry. It's such a beautiful thing to see, beautiful thing to watch, and it motivates us as designers as well. And with this collection, it's titled Batupili, meaning people first, putting people in the front line. With the COVID situation, with everything else that's going on, we find the lines parallel to each other, where we all want to get to a place where everyone's well-being is at 100%. So I hope people see the collection and enjoy it and follow the journey from here on, moving forward, you know, as we build the DNA of the brand and explore different parts of Africa, and also reflecting the times that we are currently living in. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mpumi. Sheldon, you have the last word. Words.
Okay, I'll make it. It will be short and sweet. Right. Look, we keep on keeping on. You know, it's an attitude that I've had for the longest time, and it's an attitude that we've got to remind ourselves of. I would say everything about what I've done to date, and especially now, is all about evolutionary thinking and an evolutionary approach to everything that we do, making do with what is available to us. And that's it. Thank you. I say no more.
Thank you with that. Sheldon, we're ending off our session. I just want to say, make sure that you see these collections, because they are spectacular. They are absolutely the best collections I have seen in 23 years at the South African Fashion Week. Over and out from me. take care. And I want to say that from great trauma comes great creativity is born. And that is absolutely the truth. So thank you and have a fabulous fashion weekend.
Lucilla.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Lucilla.
Thanks, Lucilla.
Thank you. We wait for all of you to leave.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Priscilla. Bye, everyone.